Let's be honest. You wake up with plans, you want to be disciplined, you want to focus, you want to become dangerous with your mind, but instead, you grab your phone. Not for long, just a minute, just to check notifications, just to scroll. And that single habit silently hijacks your brain for the entire day. You don't notice the damage, because it feels normal, and everyone does it. But what if I told you this one habit is slowly destroying your attention span, your self-control, and your potential? Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, every day. You don't feel addicted, because addiction today doesn't look like chaos. It looks like routine. Phone in the morning, music while working, tabs open everywhere, constant stimulation. Your brain never experiences silence anymore, and silence is where focus is born. Dopamine was meant to reward effort. Now you get it for doing nothing. A swipe, a notification, a video, a like. Your brain learns one dangerous lesson. Why focus when pleasure is one tap away? So deep work starts feeling painful. Reading feels exhausting. Thinking feels heavy. Boredom feels unbearable. Not because you're weak, but because you've trained your brain this way. Lack of focus doesn't just affect productivity, it affects identity. You start saying, I'm not disciplined. I can't concentrate. I always procrastinate. But those are not personality traits. Those are symptoms of neural conditioning. Your brain has been rewired for distraction. And here's the brutal truth. If you cannot control your attention, someone else will. Apps, algorithms, content creators, corporations. Your mind becomes real estate, and everyone is trying to rent it. The first hour of your day is sacred. Your brain wakes up clean. No noise, no momentum, no chaos. And what do most people do? They poison it instantly with stimulation. Social media, messages, videos, news. The moment you consume instead of create, you enter reactive mode. You spend the rest of the day responding instead of leading, reacting instead of building, consuming instead of becoming. If you want mental dominance, your morning must belong to you. This is not about becoming extreme. This is about restoring your baseline. You don't need to delete everything. You need control. Silence in the morning. No phone for the first hour. No chaotic input. No instant stimulation. Just you. Your thoughts, your plan, your priorities. At first, it feels uncomfortable, restless, boring, good. That discomfort is your nervous system recalibrating. That's your brain remembering how to exist without constant stimulation. That's focus slowly returning. Discipline is not rare. Silence is rare. Boredom is rare. Solitude is rare. And those three things are required to build discipline. If your mind is constantly entertained, you never develop the muscle of self-control. Discipline is built in moments like sitting with discomfort, doing tasks without stimulation, working when no one is watching, resisting impulses nobody would judge you for. That's where identity is formed. Right now, you are in a war, not with people, with systems. Social platforms are engineered to keep you scrolling. Notifications are engineered to pull you back. Short content is engineered to destroy long-term focus. If you don't fight back intentionally, you will lose by default. Not dramatically, not obviously, but slowly. Years pass. Goals stay untouched. Potential stays unused. Not because you were incapable, but because you were constantly distracted. You don't need motivation. You need boundaries. Simple rules. No phone for the first hour. No multitasking during deep work. Scheduled consumption, not random. One task at a time. Silence daily. These sound small, but they change everything because you're teaching your brain, I decide where my attention goes, and attention is power. Imagine this version of you. You can sit and focus for hours. You finish tasks faster. You think clearly. You read deeply. You feel mentally sharp. You don't feel overwhelmed constantly. That version of you is real, not hypothetical, not fantasy. It's simply buried under layers of distraction. Remove the habit, and the person underneath starts to emerge. Most people will never fix this. They'll keep saying, everyone scrolls. It's not that serious. I'll fix it later. Later never comes. Because comfort delays transformation. and convenience kills evolution. If you control your attention, you control your life. If you don't, someone else will gladly do it for you. Here's something uncomfortable. Your brain is no longer trained for effort. It is trained for escape. The moment a task becomes difficult, your instinct is not to push through. Your instinct is to check something. Open a tab, touch your phone, seek relief. This is not laziness. This is conditioning. You've taught your nervous system that discomfort equals danger and distraction equals safety. So every time you try to focus, your brain resists. Not because you're incapable, but because you've built a habit of running. Rewiring that takes repetition, stillness, patience, and discomfort. But on the other side of that discomfort is mental strength most people never develop. People proudly say, "I can multitask." No, you can't. What you're doing is rapid task switching, and it's destroying your cognitive power. Every time you switch between tasks, your brain loses context, your working memory resets, your mental energy drains. You feel busy, but you produce nothing meaningful. Multitasking doesn't make you efficient, it makes you shallow. Depth requires singular attention. Mastery requires immersion. Greatness requires presence, and presence is impossible when your mind is fragmented. This is the brutal truth. Most people will live their entire lives distracted, comfortable, entertained, sedated by content. They will consume thousands of hours of videos and create nothing. They will know every trend, but build no legacy. They will feel busy, but accomplish very little. Not because they were stupid, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they never learned to sit alone with their own mind. Silence terrifies weak identity. That's why distraction feels safer. And that's why focus is a separator. Real discipline is not dramatic. It's quiet, unseen, boring, repetitive. It's waking up and not touching your phone. It's working without music. It's staying on one task when everything in you wants escape. It's choosing long-term power over short-term pleasure. This is how psychological dominance is built. Not by motivation, not by hype, but by the ability to control yourself when no one is watching. That is power, and very few people ever develop it. This was never about deleting apps. It was never about becoming extreme. It was never about escaping technology. This was always about something deeper, about reclaiming ownership of your own mind. Because the most dangerous person in the room is not the loudest, not the strongest, not the most talented. It's the one who can control their attention. Attention is life. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you spend it on noise, you build a noisy life. If you spend it on distraction, you build a distracted existence. If you spend it on comfort, you build a comfortable prison. But if you learn to command your attention, you gain access to something rare: clarity, direction, power. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not suffering. Discipline is self-respect in action. It's choosing the future over the impulse, the long-term vision over the short-term pleasure, the person you could become over the person you currently are. Focus is no longer common. It has become a competitive advantage, a psychological weapon, a form of modern dominance. While others scroll, you build. While others consume, you create. While others escape discomfort, you sharpen yourself inside it. And that is the difference between those who stay average and those who rise above everything. So, no, don't quit your phone. Control it, master it, dominate your impulses. Because the one who controls their attention does not just control their future, they become unstoppable. If this video helped you see your own mind more clearly, consider sharing it with someone who feels stuck. Sometimes one perspective shift is enough to change everything. And if you want more videos like this, calm, honest, psychological truths about life and discipline, you can subscribe, not for motivation, but for clarity.